So Reverend Kenneth Meshoe of the ACDP recently called out Ramaphosa on how he needs to say something about the persecution of Christians in South Africa. In this video, I'm going to show you what's going on there. But if you stay with me all the way till my biblical reaction, you may have a video you want to share with every Christian you know, especially if they are in KZN, because at the end, South Africa will prosper. Are you ready to see what's going on? All right. Press like and let's go. So, 2nd of October last year.
The Commission for the Promotion and Protection of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Rights, Mkhwanazi-Xaluva, is stressing the importance of the independence of a new committee. It's called a Section 22 committee. She was speaking at the committee's launch. It's aimed at safeguarding communities from exploitation.
She's on a mission to safeguard communities. Let's hear from her.
People are saying they're against what is taking place here because it's regulation of churches and regulation of Christianity in itself. Is it?
We have never spoken of regulating religion. We've always said freedom of religion is sacrosanct. And we've said repeatedly that this process here is not a CRL process. Anyone who has eyes has seen that these are serious religious leaders we're talking about. We are talking about over 45 million Christians who are represented here, and that's a conservative figure. They can do their maths. So we say those that are out there must join the Section 22 committee when they go to provinces, because we want to say to them, participate, because this is not going to stop. We have handed it over to Section 22. We'll make sure that you know where it's happening. We'll put it on all our social media platforms. We'll tell the media where the consultations are happening.
She went and handpicked a couple of religious leaders, and they're going to go out there, and she, who has nothing to do with this, will post on her website to tell people to go speak to those religious leaders, although she has absolutely nothing. I'm not going to do the talking. Hear what Reverend Mathebula had to say about it.
Chairperson seems to think you're jumping the gun here. Let's relax. They couldn't invite all of you because it's a small launch. They can't do it at the FNB Stadium, but they had enough people there. South African Council of Churches, they had, I think she mentions TESA, I think she mentions the Amazayoni, she mentions the ZCC, saying these are mega formations within the Christian religion, and so they can speak for
what was the criteria? You know, who chose those people? You understand? Because personally, and some other pastors, we wanted to go in, and we were told that, no, you are not invited. You understand? To a point that they had securities. Come on, we cannot deal like that. This is a democratic country. We have a freedom of speech, a freedom of religion in this country. If you are going to implement something in the country, you need to consult, you know, and not just with people who agree with you. We are involved in the community. Right. We are known in the community, Tabo, and we are the voice in the community. I mean, I'm looking at those people, I mean, who have been elected, you know, with respect. You know, you've got people, 8 people from Shembe. You understand? I respect what the man does, what they are doing in this nation, but I'm still questioning the criteria of doing this.
And also that the scale of it is too huge, that they can't have all millions of you with all your smaller Nyana churches, all must be part of this committee. Yes, you will all be consulted. There'll be a broader consultation process. In fact, she says you'll be so consulted that you will be sick of this committee.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It is not the government who must actually decide who are the people who are going to be in that commission. Because next time, we're going to be told that you are not supposed to preach this. You are not supposed to do that and that, because now this religion now is in the hands of the government. That is our concern. We are not standing against what CRL wants to achieve. We are concerned about the lives of people in our community. We cannot be forced. I'm listening to the chairperson. You know, it's like she has decided this thing is going to happen with you or without you. Come on, this is a democratic country.
She says she takes the role in the constitution of not only promoting religion, but protecting religion. He says, her words, we take this role seriously.
Protecting religion, even protecting, the freedom of religion. That must be protected by her as well. As a matter of fact, seated here, I'm sorry to say, I don't think she's the right person, to decide that for us. Because already, she is disqualified by the things that she said before. She has undermined the faith. She has undermined us as leaders, telling us that if we call upon God, or if we speak to God, and then we must go and see the psychiatric.
Let me stress it again, is not to regulate the sector. We are only saying, here is a group of people, credible people, from credible structures, mega churches. The CRL Rights Commission will have zero attendance as a commission. All that we'll be doing is that the Secretariat will be helping them book venues, traveling, but the CRL Rights Commission will not be involved at all.
She says they are credible. 2, they have mega churches. That would have been the criteria.
They are credible.
Yes.
Who decides that they are credible? Is it her?
It seems it would have been
that is my concern. Thabo, there are complications in this matter. That is why proper consultation must be done. You've got the charismatics, you've got the evangelical, you've got the Pentecostal, you've got the mainline churches, and if you're going to bring a team of 22 people or whatsoever to come and decide, tomorrow we're going to stand and confront power to truth. And then we're going to be told that you are not supposed to preach like this. We're going to take your license. You are not the right person and all that. So that is why the criteria must be given in a proper way. To say you are running a mega church, that does not give you a license automatically to rule other people or, to give direction to other people.
She says, well, the commission is not going to get involved here. It seems we'll pit you guys against one another. We'll stand here on the side, pay for the hotels, pay for the food, pay for the catering. You guys will decide.
Yeah, you don't have to get involved if you've got your boys and your team, after all. That is what we are saying. We don't want you to get involved. Allow us to be involved right from the beginning. Let's select the team together. Let's approve the people together so that you can take a backseat, all of us knowing to say these are the right people, and then we have been consulted. Not just coming up with a team. And say most of these people who are there, I don't even know them. You understand? Yes, you've got Ndadel Khanyane there and all those other people, but the rest of the team we don't know. And now they are just going to regulate us. Once again, I want to stand here and sit here and say, we are not against the bringing stability and order and safety in our community. That is what we stand for. That is part of our calling. But we want things to be done in a proper way so that we can protect even this religion, the freedom of religion that we have in this country.
So our view is that the current code of conduct that is in place that you accept is very soft on these matters. It's like, oh, well, you are misbehaving, we'll pray for you. She says we can't leave these things to chance. There must be a predictable way in which we say, you are feeding somebody grass, this is the outcome of what needs to happen to you.
Yeah, I think we need to be fair on that, Thabo. There are a lot of things that are not regulated in this country. You understand? I mean, I've mentioned even on that clip, you've got the school of circumcision. They are not regulating that. They are not coming as forcefully as they are coming to us now as a church. I'm saying there are laws in the country. Why do you want to persecute the church twice or with double laws? If somebody commits a crime, let the criminal law take its course. Because we need to enforce the laws that we have, not to create another law. Let's enforce the law. If there's a pastor who's not doing right, who is sleeping with a minor, you don't have to create the law for that. Let's apply the law that is there. That pastor must be taken to prison.
It's not enough. She says it's too late.
It's not enough.
By the time you get there, it's too late. She says you must protect it at source.
Don't blame the church. Let us blame those who are enforcing the law. Because there are many things that our government is not dealing with them. So let us not punish those who are already doing the good work because of 2-3 people. I mean, I can take the case of Omotoso. Even when he was discovered, where is he now?
He's out of the country.
He's out of the country. Who was responsible for that? Is it the church or the law?
Officials.
The officials.
Authorities.
Exactly. So that is what I'm saying. Let us enforce the law. Let us not just create the law to punish other people. I don't think that is the right way.
Can't say it better, Rev. So here's the CRL Rights chairperson. Listen carefully to her and hear when she says the word rights.
The view that others are saying the very formation of this committee would be in conflict with the Constitution in terms of the mandate that you have as the CRL Rights Commission, which is to promote, not to regulate.
We are tasked with promotion and protection.
Yes.
Of religious, let me talk about Christians now, because we're only dealing with Christians at this point. We need to do everything that is possible to fulfill your mandate to protect. It's in our act. It's in the Constitution. That do everything you can to protect these communities. People go to church because...
Yes, she skipped the word rights and keeps going around it. Is it a mistake? If we go to the Bill of Rights, you have cultural, religious, and linguistic communities, and they may not be denied the right to enjoy their culture, practice their religion, use their language, or to join or quit any church or church organization. Then later, the Constitution sets up the CRL, objects of the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Christians. You realize when she's asked about her mandate, she says her mandate is to promote and protect Christians. No, promote and protect rights. Is this a mistake that she's making, or is there a sinister motive? Well, take a second and hear some of the other things that she says.
All religious practitioners must be registered with the CRL Rights Commission through their accredited umbrella organization.
So what happens to those who refuse to be registered?
It will be an offense to practice without a license. You have to be registered or else you'll go to jail.
Is the CRL the greatest threat to the church in South Africa? Or is what the CRL proposing a threat to the church in South Africa?
Yeah, what the CRL is proposing, it's a serious threat to the church. As far as their proposal from whatever they found in their findings, if it's left unattended, it will be equivalent to creating a state religion where you box everybody into a religion. The state tells you how to believe and what to believe, with whom you should practice your religion.
Why should ordinary believers or just pastors be concerned about this?
Pastors must be concerned about this, because if we leave it unattended, because even mainstream media acts as a catalyst, and they're selling a narrative. And if this narrative is sold and the CRL chairperson gets what she wants and envisions, with her proposal, we are heading for a state religion. This will say now the state must prescribe for citizens what to believe, because we'll have to believe according to umbrella bodies. That umbrella bodies concept is also ill-informed, is even unconstitutional.
We discovered that most of the churches, especially charismatic churches, there are those who genuinely don't know, but there are others who have their own agendas in terms of how do I milk this cow dry.
What about sangomas and their finances? Why don't you regulate that? Was Islam also grilled? All religions the same? Is this an attack on just the churches?
What are the repercussions if you set up a tent and you profess to be a pastor? I mean, what's going to happen to somebody like that?
The amendments we're looking at.
Yeah.
It will be a criminal offense.
Excellent.
And will be charged criminally for doing that. Just like a doctor, if you've been struck off the roll, or if you're not registered, you can't just wake up and be a doctor. There are systems. So we're saying you will be registered and you will operate under a tight monitoring system. And then if you operate illegally without the license to operate, there are criminal charges following.
On that point, Mom, let's say I am on that register and I go to Rhema Church and I see the light and I start doing the work of God and I change and I am this model citizen. What then happens to me when I have a calling to serve in the children's ministry? Are you going to come to me and say, I cannot do that which I believe God has called me to do because there's some register where my name is?
Will definitely do that. Irrespective of your calling, we are a danger to society.
Is that not going against what the religion professes to do, which is to allow people to change and become a better version of themselves?
Let's educate our people that no one talks to God. Let's just put it as bluntly as all that. If someone says to you, God was talking to me, tell them to go to the psychiatric ward.
Is this not a violation of our religious rights?
Removing my mother or whatever they do with the bones and putting in another person where my mother was buried is a violation of my cultural rights, because when I go to my mother's grave, I find another body there and I don't know where this Mkhize is coming from, and I'm like, I'm here for my mother and my mother, is not responding. Let's educate our people that no one talks to God. No one talks to God. No one talks to God. I'm here for my mother and my mother, is not responding. No one talks to God. No one talks to God. No one talks to God. I want to stress that this doesn't affect freedom of religion at all. We're not going to be looking at how people pray, how they worship, whom they pray to. We're only interested in the behavior of the individual. Especially charismatic churches. You pay for a prayer.
Once again, the CRL Rights Commission, with the chairperson, Mrs. Mkhwanazi-Xaluva, she has decided for the second time to work to bring in a system through changing laws so that there can be a system of state regulation of religion. Let me say this: if the state controls religion, in other words, if the state can vet you as a pastor, inspect you, look at you, consider you as a religious organization, and they can decide whether or not you should be granted a license to be a pastor, to preach, to teach, to do what God has called you to do, then effectively you have no longer any meaningful right to religious freedom. Because if the government grants you a permission, like you get a driver's license, you have permission to drive, but that also means that government can actually take that away from you. And that isn't a right, that then becomes a privilege. It's not your right anymore. It's been converted into a privilege. And that's a very dangerous thing, because the Constitution of South Africa gives us a right. It's ours.
So what we want to establish is a mechanism where, as a religious leader, you'll be registered, you'll be licensed. Your peers will be able to suspend you if they think there's a need for that. And if needs be, they will remove you totally.
So Reverend Kenneth Meshoe at the latest SONA debate raised some of the things that Ms. Xaluva has been saying.
Among the Chapter 9 state institution is the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities. The primary objectives of this commission are A, to promote respect for the right of cultural, religious and linguistic communities. They have instead gone to great lengths to attempt to regulate religion, something the ACDP totally rejects. In one of the interviews given by the CRL chairperson, she said, this thing called Christianity must be regulated. Well, she still has to answer why she said this thing. She also was recorded in another instance saying that anyone who says that God spoke to them must be taken to a psychiatric ward. This again was very, very insulting, because some of us, the Lord spoke to us, that's why we're here, but we do not qualify to go to any psychiatric ward. She must be reminded as they are making attempts to get rid of the charismatics that Jesus said he will build his church and the gates of hell shall not prevail against them. The ACDP calls for her divisive utterances that undermine constitutional values and her fitness to serve as CRL Commission chairperson to be investigated.
Well, I never managed to watch Ramaphosa's response to this debate, but from what I heard, he totally ignored and did not respond. So on the 12th of March, there's a big march in KZN. The link is coming up here now. Fight against this church regulation. Sounds very nice. 2-3 pastors did some really weird stuff. So we need a law for the 99.999% of pastors who have never fed anyone grass or gave anyone petrol. And those other pastors, some went to prison but got to escape the country because our justice system can't do any work. But we want to regulate the 99.999% of pastors using the 4 examples. And so the South African Church Defenders are marching, and if you know anyone in KZN, let them know what's going on, because this is sneaky and it is wicked and it is a purposeful misinterpretation of the Constitution for some dark reasons. My biblical reaction: beware lest anyone cheat you or plunder you or take you captive through philosophy and empty deceit, according to the tradition of men, according to the basic principles of the world, and not according to Christ. You know, this matter has been going on for over 8 years, yet the ANC government has done nothing. Why? Here's the reality right at the bottom of this. The ANC are Marxists. Marxism does not like Christianity for a couple of reasons. Marxism needs an original sin. For the ANC to stay in power, they must stay with the original sin of apartheid. While Christians say the original sin is in the Garden of Eden. Marxists say some people are sanctified and some are demonized. And of course, there's a real history and what has happened, but they are just using apartheid to preach their gospel. And so once the gospel says all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, well, you just might think that the past was because human beings have a fallen nature and see it through those eyes. And then now you mess up the sanctification of one group and demonization of another group, which is what the Marxist gospel is about. So Marxists don't like that. Marxists don't like that we worship a God who we call a creator and a father. They're fighting patriarchy and they hate creativity and productivity. And they hate independence because Christianity produces an independence from what's around you and a dependence on God and your faith. They don't like that, because if you're a business person, we will give you the BE deal. If you don't work, we will give you the grant. Everything that the ANC believes in does not work with a person of faith. That's a problem. Where do I have the confidence to think I'll make it without BE? Because I have faith in God. ANC hates that. And so this may seem like a mistake or just an oversight, or they're reading it wrong. No, they hate our faith because it is opposed to everything that Marxists stand for. Marxists say we must have a revolution and then we'll be perfectly equal and have a wonderful world, while we know that there is no utopia on this side of death. And so the ANC has nothing to offer people who don't believe that there will ever be a utopia on earth, a perfect life where we all just get it and then it's all sorted. It doesn't exist. And they hate that Christianity removes anger. I recognize what happened under apartheid. I was touched personally. My family has been touched personally. But because of my relationship with God, I am able to still see clearly the corruption, theft, lies, incompetence of the ANC. But they need me to be covered in anger over apartheid so that I can't see that I am led by thieves. So they can't have Christians removing anger because then they'll see the corruption. So they're going after God. This is not a mistake. It's not about fixing 434. We hear 3 examples out of thousands of thousands, but they need a law for the thousands of pastors. Why? Because the ANC and their philosophy is opposed to Christ. That's the bottom line. And that's why I always say no man can serve 2 masters, because either he'll love the one or hate the other, or you'll despise the one and honor the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx. And many of the pastors who will be marching and joining this march, here's what I hope you learn, my dear sir, my dear madam, with humility. May this march show you how, if you have been supporting Marxism, that what you support can end up coming back to bite you. When you get arrested from the pulpit for speaking out against theft, corruption, and wickedness in this country. So, got me hot under the collar. So, sure. See you on the next one.